Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 341, Water 7 Saga, Postini's Lobby Arc. Part 2. Grand Line, Sabaody Archipelago. Inside the medical room in the art store, Dr. Kureha and some sexy nurses, her assistants, were going from one hospital bed to another to record the progress of the patient's treatment. Most of the patients were healthy, they had manga volumes in their hands and were reading different volumes depending on what stage of the story they had reached so far. Even among them there are who reading different manga like Bleach and Solo Leveling. These people were the slaves that Rob saved from the tyranny of the celestial dragons and the nobles and slave traders here in the Sabaody archipelago on that historical day when he accomplished something no one else could do for centuries. The number of slaves was really frightening, over 1,000 people, male and female, old and young, and of all races, although many of them had been laid off over the past month because their period of physical and psychological treatment had ended under Rob's supervision. Rob only allowed people who were judged to be perfectly healthy to go out. "Hello little girl, can I ask you something? You don't have parents, right?" The little girl with cute freckles looked at Dr. Kureha with empty eyes. She wanted to speak to answer but didn't know what to say. Sigh. This 12-year-old little girl was one of those victims who were born slaves, with no proper character and identity, and grew up as slaves, not knowing how to live but as slaves. Kureha sighed as she had to face such patients that she could not cure. After all, she had already treated her physically. "You can't read like them? Right? No problem, that boy Rob will take care of this later, and you will be able to enjoy the manga like all of them soon." Kureha smiled sweetly before saying that. Outside the art store, four giants were reading giant volumes of manga with excited expressions on their faces. They were the new B-rank hunters, Kashiai and Oimo. Accompanying them were the veteran S-rank hunters, Bragi and Dori. On Bragi's shoulder sat a famous A-rank human hunter. It was Usopp's father, Yasopp, who volunteered to fight in this war. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. Shipyard Island, first dock. Many people, mostly journalists, gathered here to meet the Straw Hat Pirates, but no matter how much they shouted, they were rejected by the men of Galila. "Let us meet the pirates." "No. The pirates won't meet anyone. Let us at least thank Iceberg Sand Saviors. Please let me apologize for calling them assassins. I'm with W7 News. Please let us hear some comments from the heroes who saved our mayor. Please let us take a picture. Please. I'm applying for Califasan's secretary position." Inside the workshop behind the gates, the shipwrights of Galila looked in shock at the giants who had been so helpful to them by installing the largest crane on Shipyard Island. Amazing! What superhuman strength! After they had successfully installed the huge crane, Kashiai looked at the shipwrights and asked, "Is this good?" He and Oimo soon received a satisfactory answer. "Man, you're lifesavers. Praise the giants. We're glad to help." On Kashiai's shoulder, Usopp laughed amusedly. "Ha ha." Kashiai looked at Usopp and asked, "Sharpshooter King, is it okay for you to stay here?" Oimo also talked about their inability to go to Little Garden. "We can't really go to that island if our bosses are still fighting. So we've decided to go back to Elbaf after helping this island out for a bit. If you like Elbaf so much, we can take you along with us." Wah ha ha. Usopp was silent for a while but started talking about what was on his mind. I equals 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 equals. Look at this. Did you want to take my son with you to Elbaf? You two fools. Oimo, Kashiai. Yasip pointed his finger at Oimo and Kashiai and said in annoyance. Your son admires the Elbaf warriors and dreams of going there. We shortened the way for him and invited him directly. You should thank us instead, wahahaha. Do you think he won't return to the crew? Yasip asked. No, he will obviously be back. Gegyo Jayagya. Now Oimo, Kashiai. You've two become almost as famous as we've. You guys surprised me. Dory had hit Oimo on the shoulder while laughing when he saw their faces again in the manga. Gababababa. It's good that you know that interfering in our fight is not wise thought, you two really are great Elbaf warriors. Bragi also slapped Kashiai's back until Kashiai felt his back burning. Fishman Island. Industry Bay. This place was like a coral forest, where there were all kinds of factories and workshops in which the fishman race worked. Last month a new workshop opened, which was welcomed by everyone in the fishman race. The workshop is called Galila, and its purpose is clear. See train industry. Ta ha ha ha. Look at this. Looks like you've met each other again in the manga, you pesky brats. Tom took a break from work and sat next to his disciples, Iceberg and Frankie, who was also enjoying reading manga. Oh. What a bold idea I hadn't even thought of before. Turning the whole Water 7 into an island floating on the sea. Tom froze completely in shock when he read what Iceberg had said in the manga. BFT. Ha ha ha. Do you realize what you're saying, Bakaberg? Little Frankie also sprinkled Coca-Cola he had just drunk out of shock. Ha? That sounds impossible. But it looks like my future version has figured out something about this idea. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. You're turning this Water 7 into a ship. Is that even possible? Frankie was skeptical and shocked about what he had just heard. Iceberg continued to draw his blueprints and spoke. Didn't we used to look at a great man's back who made the impossible possible? If you're a man, do things with a dawn. Frankie smiled after hearing this. He. You're just like Tom-san. Equals 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 equals. If you're a man, do things with a dawn. Ta ha ha ha. What a great saying. Tom patted Iceberg's shoulder and praised him loudly while laughing hard. This was one of the best scenes he's ever read. Iceberg felt really embarrassed. Turn a big island into a ship, what a great idea. The people of Water 7 will feel that you are the only worthy mayor who should be at their heads. I'm sure a lot of guys from Water 7 will come and ask you to come back, kid. Are you ready for that? Turning Water 7 into a ship that can navigate and confront the Aqua Laguna? Iceberg looked at the ground awkwardly. Was his mentor joking? He was still a kid. He didn't have his future abilities and charisma yet. Chapter 342, Vice Admiral Garp arrival. Marine Ford. Sigh. While passing through the barracks filled with tired-looking Marines, Sengoku couldn't help but sigh. There is no doubt that the current war against hunters is the first of its kind in history. This time, they're not fighting the pirates but an organization that does a better job than the Navy in bringing justice. That's why the Marines were confused about the exact cause of this war. Why do they have to fight each other? My God. Why this shit? Oh, again. Sengoku's expression darkened when he saw the delivery ship stopping at Marineford's harbor. This delivery ship was full of manga volumes from the new arc. Everyone was thrilled with the arrival of their manga volumes except for Sengoku, who felt another headache coming. He has not yet recovered from the successive shocks he suffered in the last volume, and another volume has come. There is no doubt that Sky Sword was very diligent in drawing manga. This bastard. Garp. When he saw that the first person to go get the manga volume was Garp, Sengoku frowned again, seeing another series of events similar to last month in the horizon. Wahahaha. That brat, he eats even when he's slept. Oh. I really wish hit that head with my fist of love. After picking up his manga volume from the government delivery ship, Garp found a chair overlooking the sea and sat away from his noisy mate, Sengoku, then opened the manga book and began reading it enthusiastically. The government delivers manga volumes from Marigoa to Marineford for strategic purposes, but Garp's sole purpose is entertainment. That bastard Frankie wants to build a ship using the wood of Adam's treasure tree? He's already following in his mentor's footsteps. Ah! Suddenly, the face of an old man wearing a dog hat and a vice admiral uniform appeared in the manga. Oh! That's me. When he first saw himself in the manga in a long time, Garp reacted very casually. He was still scratching his nose with an unconcerned expression. On the other hand, Sengoku shuddered when he saw the Garp ship anchored in Water 7. He had a dangerous premonition. Oh, Garp. Please don't make it worse. Last month, Admiral Zephyr and Admiral Candidate Kuzan lost several battles against the Hunters Guild's Golden Crow. Admiral Kizaru could not even enter the Sabaody archipelago, while Admiral Akainu suffered a severe defeat against an aircraft carrier. The most infuriating thing was that Garp refused the world government's order to enter the battlefield and was close to being fired. All of this has made Sengoku suffer a lot in the past month. Now, if Garp doesn't catch his grandson in the manga, everything will be settled. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. Wait here, both of you. With a smile on his old face, Garp gave the order to stay behind for 2 recruits. Yes, sir. Then. Boom. The wall was destroyed, shocking the straw hats inside the room. What? Who is it? Before entering through the hole he made in the wall, Garp asked. You are the Straw Hats crew, aren't you? I brought someone I want Monkey D. Luffy to go meet. Sanji, Frankie, and Chopper immediately get ready to fight when they realize the enemy is attacking Marines, while Luffy was still asleep. Unfortunately for him, this provoked someone. Wake up! Luffy! With an iron fist, Garp punched Luffy in the head. Ow! Ouch! Sanji was shocked to see this scene. Ouch! What are you talking about? It's just a punch. It wouldn't hurt your rubber. Garp removed his doggy hat before saying with a smile. There's no way anyone can escape the fist of love. I heard you've been doing backless things, Luffy. Luffy was still holding the bump on his head and agonizing silently, but when he heard that voice he could understand the cause with the familiarity of the pain he was feeling right now. Gay. Grandpa. Sanji, Robin, Chopper, Nami, Frankie, and Kokoro were all shocked when they heard this. What? Grandpa. Equals 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 equals. Wahahahaha. As expected of myself. Garp burst out laughing when his prediction came true and punched the sleeping Luffy. I finally met Luffy in the manga. I wonder how things will go from this point on. Seeing this scene, Sengoku and the rest of the Marines who were reading the volume trembled as well. There is no doubt that Vice Admiral Garp is violent even with his grandson. What a strong punch. If I had been punched by this, my head would have exploded like a balloon. This is so scary. A family of monsters. Is that why Luffy has become so stupid? What's so strange about that? If he was exposed to punches like these when he was a kid, there is no doubt that he would become an idiot. Vice Admiral Garp is too scary. South Blue, Rommel Kingdom. Dragon, Crocodile, and Brook all exited the teleportation room of this kingdom's art store. They quickly merged with the excited crowd, bought their volumes, and sat in the corner. This kingdom has been under the government for 50 years. Since it has an art store here, it wouldn't be hard to get it to join our side and separate it from the world government. Dragon was very happy to ally himself with someone like Sky Sword. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to carry out his plans so early. Since Rob-san allowed you to use the teleportation room freely, that means he really trusts you, so don't disappoint him. Yahoho, Luffy-san got punched by his grandfather. That's funny. Before Brook finished his words, he couldn't stop himself from bursting out laughing when he saw the scene of Garp punching Luffy. Dragon opened up today's volume and was surprised to see his bastard father had met Luffy in the manga. Oh. That's bad. Chapter 343, The Silly Grandfather and His Grandson. Manga Events. Garp looked at his undeserving grandson with a smile and spoke. Luffy, don't you owe me an apology? Marine Headquarters Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp the Fist. Nami was deeply shocked when she met the muscular old man. Garp, you mean the hero of the Marines? Sanji turned towards Luffy and asked for confirmation. Luffy. Is he really your grandpa? Luffy immediately replied. Yup. Don't mess with him. You'll get killed. I was nearly killed by Grandpa on many occasions in the past. Garp's expression was annoyed when he heard this. Hey, don't say such scandalous thing. I pushed you over bottomless cliffs, threw you into the jungle at night, tied you on a balloon, and sent you flying in the sky. All that was done so that you could become a strong man. Sanji shuddered when he heard this. I think I just saw the root of Luffy's endless life force. Garp continued to speak in great frustration. In the end, I entrusted him to a friend of mine and trained him with Ace. But as soon as I took my eyes off of him, this happened. I trained you to be a strong marine. Luffy immediately replied. I always said I want to be a pirate. Garp couldn't stand hearing this. Nonsense. You're just under the bad influence of that red-haired S.H. Shanks saved my life. Don't speak ill of him. Garp catches Luffy and gets ready to hit him. Are you telling your own grandfather what to do? Gaia, I'm sorry. Sanji was amazed when he saw Luffy not even daring to resist. No shit. He doesn't even try to fight against his grandfather. Chopper and Nami were horrified. Oh my gosh. A marine captured Luffy. Luffy. But to everyone's shock, the grandfather and his grandson both fell asleep even while standing up. They fell asleep. Equals 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 equals. Wahahaha, ha. Garp's loud laughter resounded in the sky of Marineford as everyone could hear it. A minute later, different voices of laughter were heard from all over Marineford. Ha 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 ha. Vice Admiral Garp hasn't changed even in his 70s, ha ha. The hero of the Marines is very violent with his grandson as expected. Ha 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 ha. If that was the case, Vice Admiral Garp trained his grandson to make him a strong Marine, but Luffy was determined to become a pirate. No wonder. What the heck? How can they sleep in such a position? Is it a joke? I don't think it's a joke. This family's members are crazy. Sengoku closed up the manga volume and looked at Garp, who was still laughing, before turning around and leaving. He was trying everything he could to restrain himself not to laugh out loud. His reputation as a stern fleet admiral was on the line. He quickly ran to his office and shut the door tightly behind him. Sorbet Kingdom. You are the king of a kingdom under the world government. It is not weird for you to become a subordinate to the government yourself in the future, but the weird thing is that you have become a pirate. Is this where the title of tyrant came from? A man in a cat mask and a tuxedo spoke in front of a group of men wearing masks like him. What does the government want from me? I'm just an ordinary king of a kingdom in the South Sea. Bartholomew Kuma spoke nonchalantly, his tone heavy and completely sincere. An ordinary kingdom's king, you say? Hey, you are one of the future Shichibukai, and that's a truth. The government has made you an offer. We will overlook the incident of disrespecting the celestial dragon that occurred 5 years ago here in your kingdom. In return, you will join the government as a Shichibukai. Before that, we have to test your strength. When he heard about that damn incident again, Kuma's expression shook this time. I clap. 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 Suddenly, light applause sounded from behind CP0's group and a tall man appeared carrying a little girl with pink hair on his shoulder. What an inappropriate offer from you to a kingdom king! The CP0 men started to sweat when they found out the identity of the person who had just arrived. Even the 23-year-old Bartholomew Kuma was shocked to discover his rare guest. Is this poaching for talents again? You really don't see ET tired. Bonnie was thrilled when the only person who could help her father in this situation arrived. Outside the royal palace, government men pinned the kingdom's people at gunpoint. This was a silent and massive invasion of the kingdom that had an art store. Unfortunately for them, out of nowhere, waves of hunters started coming and surrounding the shocked world government men. The fires of the War of Change finally reached the four seas. Ohara. A very famous ship stopped at the port and no shipowner dared to leave his ship near the ship that had a giant egg in the middle. It's the famous ship of the Pirate King, Oro Jackson. I am fortunate to have seen such a gem made by the legendary shipwright Tomsan before I died. Yes. It really is an amazing ship. Far from the small crowd in the port, a huge crowd of people was gathered inside the art store today, including the crew of the Pirate King. Today's guests of honor. Chapter 344, The Four Emperors. Beside Amazon Lily, the massive aircraft carrier stood like a primordial monster on the sea surrounding Women Island. A few weeks ago, when this metal monster was first transported here, the Amazonian women here were frightened and confused. After all, there is no greater fear than the fear of the unknown. Shaki and Blora stood up to protect the island from the sudden attack of what they thought was an ancient weapon. But before the situation worsens, Rob arrived to calm them down. When they learned that it was his weapon, their troubled feelings calmed down and they felt safe. Rob was initially planning to move the aircraft carrier to Ohara in order to protect the island under any circumstances, but later scrapped this idea and decided to leave this ship here to protect the Amazon Lily instead. As for Ohara, he will just buy another aircraft carrier. He wasn't short on art points. He can spend it for many years and it never ends. Back in this day, Amazonian women were enjoying the sense of security Rob brought them. When he told them that the aircraft carrier was no different from an ancient weapon and he would leave it to them in case something happened, they felt like they had been favored by Rob, so they were very happy. Inside the art store, Gloriosa, Marlin, Shaki, young Dayton, and some very attractive Amazonian women gathered at the largest table inside the store's tavern. It looked like a meeting table, but it wasn't meant to be a meeting, just a session to enjoy reading manga. The art store on Women's Island was a unique case. There were no tourists from other areas and everything in the art store was free, so there was no real work for the waitresses here to do. That's why they were now enjoying reading manga and tweeting in chat rooms as much as they wanted. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. Garp crossed his arms with a light sigh and began talking about some important information to his foolish grandson, who was sure he didn't know anything about it. Listen, do you even know what kind of a guy that red-haired is? Despite the intense pain coming from his swollen head, Luffy asked about Shanks' condition the moment he heard about him from his grandfather. Shanks. Are Shanks and the others doing fine? Where are they? Garp continued. Whether or not he's doing fine. There are numerous pirates out there. However, he is now one of the four most powerful pirates alongside the Whitebeard. We call those pirates, who reign like emperors over the latter half of the Grand Line, the Four Emperors. The Marine headquarters and the Shichibukai exist in order to counterbalance these four. Their power is so influential that should these three powers become unbalanced, the peace of the world would crumble. After hearing all this, Luffy looked at his straw hat and spoke. I don't really understand, but I'm happy to hear they're doing fine. I miss them. Robin looked at Nami and asked in astonishment. He has a connection with that red hair. Nami replied with what she knows. Luffy's taking care of that straw hat on his behalf of him. I didn't know he was such an influential man. Equals 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 equals. Shaki focused her gaze on the dark faces behind Garp as he spoke of the four emperors. That's the Whitebeard. Next to him is Shanks. The fat person under him. Is she a woman? Who could she be? This angry face guy with horns, he must be Kaido. Kaido? That bad guy? Is he became an emperor too? This is unbelievable. New Onigashima. Warorororo. Kaido's loud laughter could be heard even from Hunter's Island at this moment. Kaido was very excited after seeing his manga's first appearance. Even when he only appeared as a shadow in the background, it was already his first appearance. In contrast to the weird design of Kaido's face in the original manga, Rob has modified Kaido's face to the real Kaido in the future. That was why the Beast's pirates were so excited. After all, their captain was going to become one of the four emperors in the future. There is no doubt that under the influence of the current manga, the Yonko who will be mentioned in the manga will be considered a real Yonko even now. Because the manga will bring them the prestige of emperors even when they are not emperors yet. As expected of myself. Kaido took up a barrel of sake and poured it into his mouth in one go while staring at his manga appearance. Whitebeard, that red-haired, the king of beasts. And who is this fat woman? Since she is at my level, she cannot be a simple character. No matter how seriously Kaido thought, he couldn't connect the owner of this fat and ugly face to the beautiful and attractive Charlotte Linlin. On the other side in the New World. Whole Cake Island. Mama not one of the four emperors? Impossible. There is an error somewhere. Who the hell is this fat monster beside Kaido? Where's Mama? The sons of the Big Mom felt very frustrated and anxious when they did not see the face of their beautiful mom among the four emperors. Charlotte Linlin, in turn, peered into the shadows of the four emperors with a concerned look. Her current form was really very tempting. She has a beautiful, mature face that can make any man desire her. Unfortunately for these guys, if they weren't big enough they couldn't even dream of owning her. Suddenly, Linlin's look fell on her future face and for some reason, she found her so familiar. Even if she was completely different from her current form. After all, she was fat when she was young. The current face looks like an old version of what she looked like in her childhood. That can't be true. Can't it? At this moment, Linlin was so confused. Chapter 345, Revolutionary Army Head. Luffy Dad. Ohara. Inside the art store. Oh, as expected of our Shanks. Even the protagonist of the story, Luffy, is your influence to make him become a pirate. Dark King Rayleigh maintained a slight smile while praising Shanks, who was still a 14-year-old at the moment, far from his future prestige. Shanks was very embarrassed by the crew members' constant praise for him. Even Buggy was staring at him with foul gazes as if he wanted to tear him apart. Obviously, he was jealous. Wahahaha. Pirate King Roger laughed while drinking the sake offered to him by the lovely waitress, his wife, before speaking. No wonder, Shanks is my disciple anyway. Someone who has inherited the will of the Pirate King. The true will that even the manga creator doesn't know yet. On the other hand, Alvia, Toki, Sora, and the others narrowed their eyes after hearing Roger's words, while Rouge gave them a teasing smile. Just what does Roger mean by saying that even Rob knows nothing of his true will? In the eyes of Rob's wives, Rob was the all-knowing. There is nothing hidden from it, neither in the past nor in the future. This was the result of the confidence and sense of security he had instilled in them over the past years. When will that partner come? We've been waiting for several hours until now. Gabon was interested in the events of the manga but more interested in seeing Rob and urging him to transform into Ulquiora's form to satisfy his curiosity. Ever since he saw Rob transform into one of his favorite characters and get away from a devastating island attack he's been very curious about it. In fact, it wasn't only Gabon who was curious about it, but the entire crew was secretly curious. "Oh, Gabon-san, he told me he would go to Sorbet Kingdom in South Blue and be back in a jiffy," Alvia answered with a gentle smile. "Oh. So then? Thank you, Alvia-san. Since the god of lightning said he would come in a jiffy, he will definitely do it." Gabon opened up his manga volume again and started enjoying the events of the manga. "Ah. Is that Kobe from the beginning of the story? Impossible." Gabon was just as shocked as Luffy and Zoro after seeing Kobe's evolving form in the manga. After all, at the beginning of the story, he looked like a funny smaller kid, but now, he's grown into a handsome and strong young man. "These two, Kobe and Helmeppo, I don't know why but they remind me of you two, Buggy Gyro, Akataro, gahahaha." Shanks and Buggy both pointed to themselves as they tilted their heads to the side. "You mean us, Odin-san? Who's Kobe like? And who's Helmeppo looks like?" Odin, Roger, Rayleigh, Gabon, Bullet, and the others looked at the duo with dead looks. As if they were saying to them, "Is this a question?" The answer is very clear. The Global Forum. "Prince of Rommel Kingdom, I don't know if it's just a figment of my imagination, but I think I saw the leader of the Revolutionary Army in my kingdom. What should I do?" 35M liked this tweet. 23M replied to this tweet. 5M shared this tweet. Replies: Monkey D. Garp White Heavy Checkmark, why are you lying, you son of a bitch? 20M liked this comment. I may or may not be a government man, your kingdom is already under siege, thanks for letting us know. 16M liked this comment. Plus 502K reply. Monkey D. Dragon White Heavy Checkmark, the world has already entered the era of the War of Change and the Revolutionary Army is participating in it, we are not afraid of anyone. 200M liked this tweet. 105M replied to this tweet. 97M shared this tweet. Replies: Sengoku Buddha White Heavy Checkmark, stop your nonsense and go back to the Navy, you bastard. I can help you to erase all your crimes. F60M liked this comment. Celestial Dragon's Hater, Dragon-sama, I want to join your Revolutionary Army. 12M liked this comment. Celestial Dragon's Hater number 2, me too. 14M liked this comment. Celestial Dragon's Hater number 3, count me. 510K liked this comment. Celestial Dragon's Hater hashtag 4M, me too. Count me in, please. 1K liked this comment. Celestial Dragon, Saint Caesar, what the hell is wrong with you, slaves? 5 liked this comment. Plus 75M reply. After seeing this frenzy of Celestial Dragon's haters, Sengoku immediately closed his chat bracelet and run out from the forum net with a pale, sweaty face. This was the first time he had faced such severe criticism. Wasn't he the fleet admiral, a big shot and lofty figure? Why was he so slammed that he turned red-faced then? Damn it! It's all because of this damned manga again. Sengoku looked at the manga page where the dragon's face appeared when Garp started introducing him to Luffy. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. While hammering nails to fix the wall, Garp turned to Luffy when he remembered something. By the way, Luffy, I heard you met your dad. Luffy was surprised when he heard this. Dad? What do you mean by dad? I have a dad. Garp put his pinky finger in his nose before asking. Oh what, he didn't introduce himself. I heard he saw you off at Lode Town. Zoro and Sanji were surprised to hear the name of that town. Lode Town. Luffy's dad was in that town. Luffy and Nami wondered what this dad would look like. How is my dad like? I wonder what Luffy's father is like. At this point, Garp casually tells them who the father is. Your father's name is Monkey D. Dragon, the Revolutionary. Luffy, Dragon. Marines, ehhhhhhhhhhhhh. The Marines who heard this were so shocked that they scattered from their places like sesame seeds lifted by the wind. No one could believe what they just heard. This is because it was shocking news that crossed the border. Marine, D-Dragon the Revolutionary has a son. Kobe, Luffy-san is a son of that dragon. Helmeppo, then. Dragon is the son of Vice Admiral Garp. What's up with his family? Marine, it's the first time hearing Dragon's full name. Luffy looked in amazement at the boisterous reactions but didn't know the reason for all this, so he had to ask his crew encyclopedia who knows everything. Hey, Robin. Robin knew what he wanted, so she began to think of an appropriate way to explain to him so that he would understand. How should I explain this? Pirates don't usually initiate attacks on governments or marines. However, there's a force that attempts to directly overthrow the world government. That's the Revolutionary Army. Dragon stands at its zenith. Propaganda is spread throughout the world, provoking revolutions in many kingdoms, and causing the downfall of many countries. Of course, the government got angry. They labeled Dragon, the pulling the strings, as the worst criminal in the world and have been looking for him ever since. He was such a mysterious man that no one knew anything about his identity. But Luffy, but? Garp scratched his head and his face started to sweat. Ack! Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. BWA ha 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 ha. Then never mind about what I just said. Marines, eehhhhhhhh. Equals 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 equals. South Blue, Rommel Kingdom. Inside the art store. Inside a soundproof room, the leaders of the Revolutionary Army gathered here. This place was the best secret place in the world for the secret staff meeting. But at this moment, Crocodile, Brook, and Ivankov fell silent and stared dumbfoundedly at Dragon, who was sweating while reading the manga page. Veins appeared on his forehead before he slapped the table with all his might. Fuck! Chapter 346, Enel at the Moon? Dr. Vegapunk. Hey, Enel. That expression on your face? What piqued your interest so much? Is it about Dragon-san? Rosinante looked at Enel with interest, cause the latter was strangely calm. It's nothing. Just this so-called cover pictures series really amazed me. I never expected something so unrealistic to happen with my future version. Enel pointed to the cover of the chapter, The Name of the Sea, where Enel appears inside a hole on the moon and there is a strange being lying before him in the vanquished position. Enel's Great Space Mission Volume 4, Someone's in the Hole. This particular series has caused quite a stir in the chat forums. It's the most mysterious one yet. How is it possible to live in space? That's very weird. At this moment, Doflamingo, who was enjoying the manga events, turned to the duo who were discussing the events of the picture cover rather than the events of the manga itself. I heard the teacher say that breathing in space without the necessary ways is impossible. The moon that Enel traveled to must be one of the moons that have an atmosphere that contains oxygen. Otherwise, living creatures can't exist there, unless those creatures have a respiratory system different from the creatures in the planet of seas, but the appearance of Enel there cancelled this hypothesis as well. The question that must arise is why Enel went to the moon. Do you have any idea? Doflamingo pointed to young Enel when he asked this question. Enel was silent for a while before finally speaking. The Burkans, Scipians, and even Shandorians, we are originally the inhabitants of the Great Moon. Sorbet Kingdom. So I am in fact a fully true member of the Revolutionary Army that Dragon-san made? This is correct. Rob was sitting on a small hill made up of CP0 strongmen while talking to Kuma. In Kuma's lap sits his little Princess Bonnie while still staring at Rob and the stars in her eyes. She's clearly still excited about how Rob defeated the bad guys in a few seconds. Without any resistance. This is really baffling. King Kuma was really puzzled. Although he has high morals and has a very bad impression of the world government, this is exactly what will prevent him from abandoning his people who accepted him as their king despite his inability to do so, and embarking on a journey of piracy or a revolutionary army as a tyrant. Perhaps your most important task is to be a link between a genius scientist and dragon. Ha! The confusion on Kuma's face deepened when he heard Rob's weird words. No need, you will understand later, as long as you continue to read that book in your hands, Rob commented with a mysterious smile on his face. Kuma looked at the manga volume that Garp's appearance dominates on its cover. I love your manga series, I really enjoy each volume very much. If this is the future, then I am really looking forward to living in this future. Kuma said. Ah. It's a pity that there won't be a future like that anymore, but you can live a future like it as you wish. I won't interfere with that, I'm just offering you to choose what you want because you are a man who deserves it. That cute little girl in your arms deserves that too. Little Bonnie felt shy when she heard this and stuck her little head into her father's fat belly. So what did you decide? Will you join the Revolutionary Army, or will you still going to be a king? After a few minutes. Well, enjoy the results of your choice, hero. As for these guys, I'll take them with me. We have a nice prison for them. Rob grabbed the hill of the government men after putting them in a glass barrier easily and turned around to leave. Kuma and Bonnie looked at the departing Rob with complex looks in their eyes. Thank you. Outside, the storm had already subsided with another victory for Rob's men and the order had already been restored. The simple inhabitants of the Sorbet Kingdom are back to enjoying their nice day without fear of another large-scale attack from the government. Egg's Head Island, under development. Shaka. What are the latest updates on the location of the lost aircraft carrier? The mysterious voice of an old man seemed to contain a weary tone as if he was suffering from some kind of heaviness. The computer's light was reflected on Shaka's mask, which was currently working smoothly to complete the creation of the second version of himself. The evil side, Lilith using another part of the original Vegapunk's brain. Current location, Calm Belt, Amazon Lily Island. Travel way, 80% it has a space warp engine, but that's not certain. Which space warp engine are you talking about? The whole secret lies in the art store. That technology even the prosperous kingdom will kneel in veneration before it. Forget it. How about that guy Dragon and his small freedom army? Is there any update from him? The idiot, even after receiving several slaps in a row from Rob, still believes in him, ha. Cough. Who? As a scientist, I cannot trust someone more powerful, intelligent, and mysterious than me even if it means a certain loss for me. Doctor. Our name is mentioned in this manga. Ha? Really? What a piece of big news to hear. Ah. Does that mean Rob knows about this old man? Damn. I can't stand to reading the manga now. Oh, thanks for that, that's helpful. It's always nice to add so many varied modifications to any machine, so life becomes easier. Behind Shaka was an old man, too short but with a very long and huge head, lying on a medical bed with mechanical hands attached to the bed on each side. He had intended to undergo another operation to remove part of his large brain, but it seemed he was not ready yet, given that his name was suddenly mentioned in the manga. This old man who had been mysterious for a long time was the real Vegapunk. Everyone who had appeared before, whether inside Marigoa's meeting room or with Shaka, was none other than cyborg clones of him. I can read the manga better like this. His tongue was absurdly long too. It could be said that his look was miserable to the eye. But beneath that pathetic sight that resembles one of the famous pictures of the genius scientist from Rob's past life, Albert Einstein, lies an amazing mind enough to develop the world by several hundred years to the future. Vegapunk seriously looked at the events of the manga and his expression started to grow hilarious. Mentioning him in the manga was not an everyday event. He was not an ordinary person whose identity could be easily guessed. If Rob was just a crook, he might fall into a plot hole he couldn't save himself from. Let me see what you are hiding, Light of Knowledge Clan's kid. Shaka, call Dragon and tell him that I may suffer the same fate as him soon. Chapter 347, The Beautiful, Sexy, and Intelligent Nami. Manga Events. Luffy, Kobe, and Helmeppo were sitting on a wreck on Shipbuilder Island, and they were gleefully talking.
So, did you guys also go over that mountain to enter the Grand Line? Kobe immediately responded. Ah.
No, we didn't cross the reverse mountain.
Luffy, why? Headquarter warships can cross calm belts. But then, it's not 100% guaranteed. Luffy was jealous of this marine's ability. That's not fair. But why?
There are so many sea kings that are several times bigger than warships in there. It was like hell when we tried going through that place. Kobe begins explaining how the Navy can easily cross from that dangerous place, but at this moment, it turns out that there is a small den mushy for espionage not far away eavesdropping on their conversation. The bottom of the warships are patched with stones Kairoski. As usual, Luffy was stupid enough not to understand what that meant.
So what?
Fortunately for him, there is a beautiful, sexy, and intelligent female member of his crew who can absorb such important information. Kobe, Kairoski emit the same type of energy as the sea, so for the fish in the sea, those ships are. On the other side of Den Muchi for espionage, the glamorous figure of Nami in a swimsuit appeared as she jotted down the information she had just heard.
Energy of the sea. I got it.
That's why even if the ships sail above them, Sea Kings won't notice them.
Military scientists are doing a pretty good job.
Equals 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 equals.
Maragoa.
Inside the government hall sat 4 elders of the Gorosei unusually.
The Gorosei with the hat.
The Gorosei with a long beard.
The blonde Gorosei. The mustachioed Gorosei.
Only the bald Gorosei with a samurai sword was not present at this moment.
Interesting.
The blonde Gorosei sighed in admiration when he read about the ability of the Navy headquarters to make their way through the calm belts using such a simple method that they had never thought of before.
Will Vegapunk develop this amazing technology in the future? Oh no. Now, it's public. Just like the Rokushiki techniques. Damn it.
The long-bearded Gorosei gritted his teeth angrily once more. Before they even started developing this technique,
their technology has already become public. Never mind. Who has such a huge amount of resources to install Kairoseki on the bottom of ships? Is Kairoseki a mineral as abundantly as iron?
Only we, the world government, know how to get the Kairoseki. When the mustachioed Gorosei reached this line, his words suddenly stopped in his throat when he remembered that this secret too could be exposed in the manga.
The rest of the Gorosei looked at their comrade before shaking their heads slightly with pity. We have to prevent this from continuing at all costs. Oh. The name Vegapunk has appeared. That doesn't bode well.
Inside the art store in the domain of the gods, the celestial dragons sat in groups of 4 surrounded by their guards and slaves.
Ah! My eyes. What do I see? Goddess. This is just a goddess.
A fat celestial dragon slapped his table softly as saliva continued to fly from his big mouth when he saw a picture of Nami wearing nothing but a bikini. Only the bald Gorosei with a samurai sword was not present at this moment.
Interesting.
The blonde Gorosei sighed in admiration when he read about the ability of the Navy headquarters to make their way through the calm belts using such a simple method that they had never thought of before.
Will Vegapunk develop this amazing technology in the future? Oh no. Now, it's public. Just like the Rokushiki techniques. Damn it.
The long-bearded Gorosei gritted his teeth angrily once more. Before they even started developing this technique, their technology has already become public. Never mind. Who has such a huge amount of resources to install Kairoseki on the bottom of ships? Is Kairoseki a mineral as abundantly as iron? Only we, the world government, know how to get the Kairoseki. When the mustachioed Gorosei reached this line, his words suddenly stopped in his throat when he remembered that this secret too could be exposed in the manga.
The rest of the Gorosei looked at their comrade before shaking their heads slightly with pity. We have to prevent this from continuing at all costs. Oh. The name Vegapunk has appeared. That doesn't bode well.
Inside the art store in the domain of the gods, the celestial dragons sat in groups of 4 surrounded by their guards and slaves.
Ah! My eyes. What do I see? Goddess. This is just a goddess.
A fat celestial dragon slapped his table softly as saliva continued to fly from his big mouth when he saw a picture of Nami wearing nothing but a bikini. Nami looked very attractive at this moment, causing a stir among the perverted celestial dragons who practically became worshipping Nami as the queen of the gods.
There are even some extreme celestial dragons who plan to get Nami and Nojiko at any cost in their harem when they're born. The celestial dragons still believed that they were the rulers of the world even after all that had happened and the world had already split into 2 poles. They still see the colorful world they have long lived in. And that's exactly what Rob wants it to be as long as possible, because of course he has his plans. After getting rid of the miserable CP0 group in the Hunter's Island prison, which is considered the second most protected prison in the world after Impel Down, Rob returns to Ohara to meet his comrades who have been waiting for some time. Roger was a patient man, but the rest of the crew weren't. Rob came out of the teleportation room and found his little princess waiting for him. Finally, you're back, Dad.
Mustache Uncle and his crewmates have been waiting for a long time. Little Robin jumped at great speed onto her father's shoulders, clutching his head like an octopus.
Oh, really? So what has my little princess been doing all this time?
I was playing with the funny duo Shanks and Buggy. I can't believe that Redhead is going to be an emperor in the future. As for the Buggy, I noticed that he has the same personality as a kid when he becomes an adult clown. He's still a big fool.
Ha 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 ha. Rob couldn't stop himself from laughing hard.
Inside the main bar at the Ohara art store.
Wow, what a beauty. How sexy.
Nami is a goddess, my eyes are insatiable at seeing her. Her complexion is whiter than the whites of my eyes.
I love you, Nami-san.
Now, I understand why Sanji was so excited after hearing that Nami went swimming.
Can the calm belt be crossed this way? Interesting.
Aside from the bustle of Nami's body-obsessed freaks, the Pirate King crew members were interested in something else. Rayleigh was the first to speak.
This Vegapunk seems to be an interesting person.
As if he was a guy from the advanced past.
Roger's eyes narrowed when he read the name Vegapunk and his accomplishments. Chapter 348, Ohara hasn't fallen yet.
Garp looked at the manga scene of his grandson and his disciple, and his impression of Kobe grew more and more. A marine soldier cannot freely tell a pirate such important information. But here, Kobe was telling Luffy everything he knew. The purpose of that is, of course, clear. He wanted to provide anything he could help Luffy with on his journey. Even if they are just pieces of information. This was noticed by Garp and the rest. But Sengoku and the 5 elders were angered by this act. After all, no matter how close his relationship with Luffy is, it's not acceptable to pass private information to pirates. This scene practically cut Kobe's relationship with the Navy even before he was born. In the Fleet Admiral's office. This damned kid even told him about the New World. Sengoku felt indignant, but in fact, he respected Kobe in his heart. This young man has never forgotten the kindness of Luffy, who saved him and opened up great prospects for him.
You want to become a Marine Admiral? With that emaciated body? Dream up. Despite saying that, a big smile appeared on Sengoku's face. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. Luffy-san. Kobe looked at Luffy and called out to him with a smile before continuing to speak. Do you know what the latter half of this grand line is called? From the bewildered expression on Luffy's face, Kobe realized he didn't know anything. People know the last part of the sea that goes beyond the red line by the name the New World. Luffy was surprised to hear the name of this great ocean. The New World. Kobe kept telling Luffy what he knew. A sea where people who will begin the next generation gather. Whoever conquers this sea will become the Pirate King. Kobe shouted what was on his mind without thinking. Luffy-san, let's meet again over there. Sanji Chopper Zoro. I'll capture you next time. I'll be much, much stronger. One day, I'll become a Marine. A Admiral. Equals 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 equals. Wahahaha. This brat is really good. Garp laughed a lot after seeing Kobe fall to the ground and immediately apologizes after announcing his dream. But a smile came back to his face after seeing Luffy's reaction. Luffy was someone who could see if someone had a dream or not and even could tell if the other side could achieve it or not. That was an innate talent he possessed as the person who has the most silly dream in history. That's why he was Luffy. I look forward to seeing your journey, my grandson. If its end is worth it, this grandfather with his old body will make the way for you to repeat your dream in reality with all I have. Navy Base, G20 Branch. This branch was in a very sensitive place, the branch closest to the border with the Hunter's Empire. It was only a few tens of kilometers away from Water 7. On a small island that was shaped to create a navy branch strong enough to catch pirates who wished to go to the Sabaody archipelago directly without having to cross the death triangle known as the Florian Triangle. This base has been crammed for about a month due to the ongoing War of Change. Here rests both Big Shots, Marine Admiral Zephyr, and Admiral Candidate Kuzan, who is also known as Akiji. Has the delivery ship arrived yet or not? Arara, the new volume has apparently already been released several hours ago. Kuzan was sleeping on his office chair with a cover over his eyes, but he was clearly not asleep at all, because the moment the Marine stumbled he could spot him. Yes, sir. The delivery ship has already arrived, and this is your manga book. The soldier left the manga book on the desktop before quickly leaving. It was very cold in the room. Staying there for a few extra breaths would make him stay there forever in the form of an icy carving. Everyone knows how cruel Akiji, who froze even his best friend to death, was. Kuzan removed his eyes cover with a navy symbol on it and looked at the manga book lying quietly on his desktop. He reached out to grab this book of wonders. While doing so, his mind was thinking about something weird the whole time. Ice time capsule is not a killing technique but a storage technique. I'm sure Saul is still alive in the manga. Let's see where all this goes. Kuzan started reading the manga. He was surprised when he saw Garp's arrival, as he was surprised by the fact of the Revolutionary Army and Dragon, and also when mentioned the name of the old punk. He had thought that things would not become so interesting after seeing the events turn into a noisy banquet. But what happened next really surprised him. He appeared again in the manga. Equals 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 equals. Manga events. While she was enjoying the banquet with everyone, a cold voice came from behind the wall to call her again, causing her to feel fear of the unknown again. Listen as I speak. Nico Robin. No way. Ha, ha. Akiji. Why didn't you just run away like you always do? I'm sure you could have run away, even from the CP9, if it were only you. For a moment, Robin didn't know how to answer that question, but then she tried not to think about the worst and spoke. I told you that it's different from before, didn't I? I couldn't leave them stranded. After hearing her answer, he started talking about what he wanted to say by coming here. The giant who fought for O'Hara 20 years ago, Jaguar d'Assal. We were very good friends. Robin was shocked to hear this. It's my duty to observe what you do with your life. Because I respected his will and let you get away from the island. I decided that I could no longer leave a ticking bomb like you roam free. One who hasn't found a place to harbor herself and is still wandering around even after 20 years. Most of all, I thought you just wanted to die. I intended to put everything about O'Hara to an end this time. Of course, I never expected that CP9 would fall.
Did you finally find a place to harbor yourself? Robin absorbed everything she had just heard before giving a short answer.
Yes.
Whether or not Saul's decision to let you live was correct.
Are you going to show me the answer?
Robin replied.
I intend to.
Before he left, he said an answer full of mystery.
Then live your life to the fullest. O'Hara hasn't fallen yet. In the coming years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, or maybe more.
In an arc far from this arc. The truth behind these mysterious words that Akiji says will become clear to the inhabitants of the pirate world. Equals 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 equals. This was for the people of Pirate World, but not for Rob. After reading chapter 1066, a big smile appeared on Rob's face.
As I expected. O'Hara hasn't fallen yet. Chapter 349, Rob's impression of chapter 1066. Ring Hell Island.
After getting rid of the prisoners, CP0, on Hunter's Island, Rob received a notification from the system shop that a new chapter of the manga, One Piece, has updating on Earth, so he decided to read it before going to O'Hara.
After reading the new chapter 1066, Rob was shocked.
He didn't expect Saul to survive in the manga. After all, his giant body was his only weakness. Even if Akiji didn't want to kill him, Akainu wouldn't let him get out unharmed. He'll be bombarded along with O'Hara and his frozen body will be smashed to parts. Just how did he escape death?
The hell?
Why is his head that huge?
Did Oda draw him with his leg again?
Even if his mind held all the knowledge of the world since its creation, it wouldn't become that big. Rob looked pityingly at Vegapunk, whose head was ridiculously swollen.
This is definitely not human.
Oh,
was there that kind of relationship between Dragon and Vegapunk?
Oh, has Professor Clover been arrested more than 10 times by the Navy?
What an unassuming history.
Rob was enjoying every moment of the chapter, just like his customers who enjoyed chapters outside.
Robin. She's happy.
Yeah. O'Hara's will is still alive. Seeing his adult daughter crying tears of happiness after learning the truth about what archaeologists had done to protect the books and the legacy of the O'Hara people and Saul, who was still alive, Rob felt a complicated feeling. Even after becoming a grown woman, she still has my cute little daughter personality inside of her.
Well, I have decided, I have to visit Egghead. This ancient giant robot is very interesting. Dr. Vegapunk is interesting too.
Since you follow who could give you more money for your research, things become much easier. At this moment, a sly smile appeared on Rob's face.
It's time for the government to taste the cup of bitterness. This time he'll be the one who is stealing talents from the world government.
After finishing reading the chapter that was full of revealing secrets, Rob left his personal room in the art store on Hunter's Island and proceeded through the teleportation room toward the O'Hara art store. There he found the cutest creature in the world waiting for him.
So did you enjoy your time with Buggy and Shanks?
Yes, that was fun.
Little Robin answered. Rob walked out of his personal section with little Robin on his shoulders.
The father's aura surrounding him seemed extremely captivating. The women stared at Rob with heart-shaped eyes and reddened faces, but not one of them dared to approach him.
Just seeing him was a blessing to them.
Alvia, Toki, and the others noticed Rob's arrival and rushed to greet him.
Honey, welcome back.
Rob hugged Alvia with a smile on his face before continuing to hug Toki, Sora, and Otoheim, who were present. His arrival caught up the attention of Roger's crew, who had been waiting for him for a long time already.
Wahahaha.
You really have to tell me why you drew Shanks with such prestige and power while you completely underestimated Buggy.
Look, he absolutely hates you now. Rob followed Roger's finger and noticed Buggy staring at him with murderous looks.
Oh, really sorry, but did I do anything wrong?
No doubt Whitebeard would be very happy to appear in the manga again, right, Captain?
Rayleigh asked his captain as he pointed to the end of the chapter where Whitebeard appeared with unparalleled splendor.
equals 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 equals. Manga events. Grand Line, Holy Land Marigoa. Gorosei, it's an emergency. What's going on? Ha! Ha!
The agent transmitting his report to the five elders was sweating profusely at this moment, but he gathered himself together and reported the report.
In the New World.
One of the Yonko, red-haired Shanks, broke through the military fleet and made contact with the other Yonko, Whitebeard Edward Newgate.
The blonde Gorosei frowned after hearing this. What? Grand Line, New World. Oyaji. Red Hair is asking to meet you. After hearing this, Whitebeard gave a casual answer while drinking a barrel of sake. Ah. Let him. You'd better bring some good booze, brat. Equals 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 equals. Garararara. Unlike the old and rickety Whitebeard in the manga, the current Whitebeard who reading manga was at the height of his youth. He laughed and laughed again and kept laughing, of course, because he didn't expect to appear in the manga again. Every time he appeared in the manga, he could feel the adrenaline spreading all over his body, giving him goosebumps and excitement. Oh Yaji! You look great this time too. Even at such an old age, you still look strong. Whitebeard. What a giant title in the manga.
Marco, Jozu, Vista, and the others started praising their unusually enthusiastic father today. Such opportunities do not always come.
Zehahaha Oyaji looks really great. Shut up you damn it. Teach shuddered when he heard that.
A sense of danger was rising in his heart once more.
This volume gave him a lot of threat. Since the Whitebeard ship has appeared, this means that will also appear in this arc. This time it will really dead end. Marigoa. He'd drawn us again. This bastard is especially focused on me. Although his words sounded angry, the blonde Gorosei wasn't angry at all. Rather, he was happy. The other elders were the ones who were angry because they didn't appear in the manga like their comrade.
This bastard Sky Sword, one day I will crush him with my own hands.
Me too. Chapter 350, Whitebeard and Red-Haired. Part 1. Marine Headquarters. Sengoku gazed with a weird expression at the first page of the new chapter titled, Whitebeard and Red-Haired. Does he have to worry about this? In hell, I'd be worried because of what doesn't belong to me. Let my future self take care of this shit. It doesn't concern me at all. Yes. What a collision between a Whitebeard and a Red-Haired. And who in the hell is Red-Haired? Sengoku continued to curse out loud and let out all the frustrations accumulated over the past years. Well. It's all over already. And the worst has already happened. Even the War of Change broke out. So why should he be worried? Sigh. Tsuru sighed while looking at this.
She didn't want to see her mate in this near-crazy state.
Sengoku. Have you heard the latest news?
Jaguar D. Sol has announced his defection from the ranks of the Navy to the Hunters Guild.
Equals 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 equals. The fleet has been defeated. Red-Haired and Whitebeard are about to make a contact. We don't know what's gonna happen. Stay alert with the utmost measures. Yes, sir. Equals 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 equals.
Sengoku took his eyes off the manga's page that contained the bad news for the Navy and he looked at Tsuru, who was sitting not far from him. Sol said that he would not remain in the Navy as long as the likes of Sakazuki were in its ranks and as long as it was under the control of the five elders.
Yes. Unfortunately, it is another loss for our ranks. Don't bother with manga events anymore and tell me what you think about the progress of the war? Suru asked.
The war will be quiet in its early years, and this is evident from the current progress of the war. But in the future, it will not remain as quiet as it is now. In order to fulfill the right to its name, seas of blood must appear.
The world government will not give up. The Sky Sword will not concede either.
But both parties, neither the world government and the so-called empty throne ruler nor Rob, will be in control of the course of the war.
So who would it be? Suru was curious after hearing Sengoku's analysis. Sengoku held the manga book in his hands and opened it again as Suru looked at the manga book in her hand.
Unfortunately, this damn book written by the Sky Sword will be in control of the intensity of the war from now on. Just imagine if a big war broke out in this book and its sides were big and well-known personalities in the present.
What do you think will happen? Maybe it will in reality too.
That's what's so dangerous about this book, it changes the course of the global trend over and over again.
Secrets, truths, and mysteries that not everyone was supposed to know. Now, everyone in the world, even the retards from the 4 seas, know about them all.
The secrets of the poneglyphs, which the world government has tried to cover up with all it has for 800 years, are now revealed one by one in the chapters of this book. The secrets of the Grand Line that were mysterious even to the residents of the Grand Line themselves, are now being revealed one by one too. Our secret skills and abilities are made public so that everyone in the world can freely practice them.
This book is in control of everything.
It deals us one blow after another, and we have no defense against it but to accept it.
This is only the beginning. I have a feeling this book will continue until everything is revealed.
That's why it doesn't matter who wins the war of change, the winner will change the world order because the biggest winner is the manga of One Piece.
Ohara. Inside the art store. Readers stare at the chapter's events in astonishment.
Absolute silence fell in place at this moment, but in a certain part of the art store, all of the Roger pirates stared in shock at Shanks.
Even Rob gazed at Shanks with a smile. As if to say, "Brat. Didn't I give you more than your right? Wahahaha. You took my place in the future, you're a real man."
Roger repeatedly taps Shanks on the shoulder until he had feel numb.
This Conqueror hockey is so scary. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. He challenged the Whitebeard. Is Whitebeard became weak or Shanks became strong? Damn you, Shanks. You even dared try to recruit me into your crew? In your dreams.
Roger's pirates continued to babble loudly as they read the chapter where Whitebeard and Shanks clashed. Their first collision split the sky in two, creating a scene that struck deep awe in the hearts of readers around the world.
Urura Island. Vigor and drive? Isn't that Conqueror hockey? Wararararo. As expected of someone on the same level as me. He can even fight Whitebeard.
I can't wait to fight him in the future.
Kaido was excited after seeing the collision between Whitebeard and Red-Haired.
So much so that he wants to commit suicide again. That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World.
Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.